ready to go. Go ahead and take the questions for Coach.
You looked at the video, what did you see from the defense?
Well, disappointed with the loss. There's no consolation prize. So I really like the way our players responded down 14-0 and continue to play better throughout the rest of regulation defensively. I played the runs much better than we've played them all year against a very good running football team. So again, there's improvement there. So we still have miles to go, but saw some improvement as far as playing blocks and fits and things that I thought we did do well in the game. But again, our guys responded down 14-0, battled to get a turnover. Offense takes it 96 yards for a touchdown, creates a lot of momentum for our team, and we have our opportunities, countless opportunities there in overtime to make some plays to win the game. And you're in position on the road in the Southeastern Conference to win a game, and that's where we were. So very disappointed with the outcome for our players, because they've worked extremely hard and put a lot into this game, and extremely gut-wrenching for them.
Well, Lawson returned to practice today, Coach.
What's that?
Carl Lawson.
We didn't go on the field because of the length of the game, and today we kind of hit some corrections and things, and watched film, and we just felt like Coach Malzahn felt was the length of the game, as physical as the game was. We went through corrections with our team today.
You've been through those kinds of losses before, obviously. How do you bring a team back from that in a week?
Well, you have to. We've got a good Ole Miss team coming in here Saturday. So at the end of the day, you watch the film, you make the corrections, you look at the good things that you did, and there's some very positive things from the film. And then you got to correct the things that we made mistakes on and move forward and get ready for a good football team. And there's enough motivation on their film to get ready for them because they got a really good football team. So that's just what you do. It's every week is a season, and you got to realize it and approach it that way. And you look at the ebbs and flows of everyone's seasons throughout the year. How does a team play a certain way one week and a team play a certain way the next week? We've obviously, especially defense, have been very inconsistent. So just continue to work for that consistency that we need to play with on defense. And again, we've made some improvements. We've got to continue to move that direction.
Well, what you said about Jamel President yesterday, like he was a lot more active in that role yesterday.
Yeah, made a nice sack there on a second down, one on the edge. Did some nice things for us, and a guy that continued to get more snaps.
When you have those opportunities in overtime, Will, to make plays on fourth down or 2-point conversions, those things, what is going to be the difference in those spots for either then or in the future? Is it just execution? Is it play? What was the difference?
Well, I think overall you got to look at everything from what you called to what they called to what they probably anticipated you were going to be in. Be very technical in your approach of maybe not in two situations swatting for the ball, but knocking the elbow off the receiver to try and disrupt the route. We had a 2-point play. A guy comes out of coverage, should stay in coverage in that situation with a quarterback on the 15-yard line. He's not going to score. I mean, just some things that you coach on the film and say, all right, this situation arises. This is how we could play it better. That we could have made a different call here or there. But again, just be very technical in your approach with the players about this is what we need to do in these situations. When they arise again, let's make sure we're in a position to make them. And there'll be situations that'll come up again, whether it's in overtime or the fourth quarter or in our league. As we've seen all of our games, I think but one have come down to the last drive or two of the game. And you got to make great decisions in those situations to win the games.
I guess, Will, you played the one at the end of the third overtime, the 2-point conversion. It looked like you played it well. You chasing to the sideline, and can you talk about kind of what happened to make you able to get that ball in there?
Well, they made a nice throw. They made a play. I mean, you got two situations on a fourth down and a 2-point conversion. We're there to make the play, and their guy made a play. And again, it's no different than what Gus said at the end of the game. They made the plays to win the game. We didn't. They made the calls to win the game. We didn't. So you go back technically and look at it and what you got to do to improve. And, just try and get the ball off them, put the player in a different situation, make sure we practice that some more to expose them to those situations. So it's all encompassing from coaches and players.
Carlton Davis was taking the loss pretty hard yesterday in that last touchdown. Did you talk to him at all today and just kind of be in that spot?
No one play loses a game. No one play wins a game. It's just not the way it is. I mean, a lot of people want to point at one or two plays, but it's a collection of plays that causes the difference in a game, whether it's won or lost. But hey, you know what? I wish we had a lot more like Carl. Tough, competitive, football instincts, football IQ, okay? And that guy's got it. And you know what? It is important to him. I wish we had more like him.
Well, can you point to an area at this point, because you mentioned the inconsistency, can you point to an area where your defense is doing particularly well right now?
I thought we've improved. I said that earlier. We improved a lot playing the run against a very good running team. Collins' longest run was 13 yards. So I thought we made tremendous strides there. And I thought that, again, their third down was a little skewed because you got third and one situations, which against a team like that. But, again, we battled our butt off. We competed hard in the game. And to get ourselves to 24-24 at the end of the game, to respond to down there, to force a field goal. I mean, there's a lot of positives from an effort standpoint, from a leverage and formation standpoint that maybe don't show up as far as the statistics are concerned. But statistically, after regulation, is probably one of our better games too. So there's a lot of improvement.
You're talking about Carlton and the amount of emotional investment he has in this is very important to him. And you said you wish you had more guys like that. Do you feel like your team in general, or your unit in general, has enough emotional investment in what's going on?
Sure, I do. But I'm just saying, I'm complimenting a player that obviously it's really, really, really important to him to be very successful. It starts with winning, and it starts with his football team and how we perform. And it's really important to that guy. It just stands out to me, and I'm just making a compliment to a player.
On the interception that Chris had, he was really, really deep at that point. Did you guys kind of have a feeling what they were going to try to do there and give him?
No, we just called him in a right call. We wanted to pressure and play man, and we dropped one of our linebackers to the middle of the field in that situation.
And you just kind of read the quarterback's eyes at that point.
What are you expecting from Ole Miss on Saturday?
Really good offense. I mean, very explosive in what they do. They play with great tempo, a lot of run-pass options as far as the quarterback's concerned. He's playing at a high level. Some very difficult matchups outside with Treadwell, and that entire receiving crew is outstanding. So they do a really good job getting the ball to their tight end. Ingram's a really good player. He's a guy that can get you out on the field vertically, create a lot of run-pass issues, and do a good job offensively.
How do you feel like your linebackers did as a group?
Very
Yesterday?
average.
About average?
We need to play better. We need to get more production. It's bottom line. You got to get off blocks. You got to disengage a guy and make a tackle.
I mean, at this point, you got seniors playing a lot.
Right.
Guys that play probably
We need to be
1,500
better.
snaps.
We need to be better.
Can you coach them to get off
We're
blocks?
trying to. Doing all we can. Trying to.
You feel like that's the biggest inhibitor right now, that you've got to get off block and get into a gap?
Well, you're going to get blocked in our league. When you play a two-back run team, there's going to be a chance that an offensive lineman might actually get on top of you. So you got to play off of it, We met with them today and told them the same thing I've told them for 7 Sundays. Get off the block and make a play. They're going to block you. You're going to get blocked. That's going to happen. Disengage a guy and make a tackle.
Well, as you move forward, you talk about the good things, obviously the negative of not winning the game. But do you think, as far as a belief, confidence, whatever you want to call it, that game will be beneficial moving forward because you did it?
I don't think you can get anything out of a loss, to me personally, but I do think that guys understand when they watch the tape and they play within a scheme and system and they do things right, that some good things can happen for them, and I think certainly know that they see that. So again, be very technical in the approach about what we did well, and we did a lot of things well in the game. And number one, starting with competing, and that's what we got to continue to build on and build it with the right guys.
Well, how did Dontavius and Mon play inside?
Well, Montrevis had a little bit of a shoulder going into the game, and played extremely well. Played physical inside. Split some double teams, made plays, was blocked a lot, was handled a lot, disengaged a lot, got off blocks, made tackles, was disruptive in the game. I would say the same for Dontavius.
Well, when you see a guy like Montrevis, as many snaps as he played there at the end, I mean, he's close to blocking extra points, close to blocking field goals. What does that mean for a team to see a guy playing like that?
Well, you got to get more guys doing it, but he's a disruptive player, and again, really challenged him going into the game of playing against a team with the physicality that Arkansas plays with to play well, and he certainly did and played hard.
No, it's only the first time he's played this season yesterday, but how different is Ole Miss's offensive line with Tunsil? Just how different are they?
Well, Laramie's a really good player. Recruited him out of high school, and he's a great kid, and a guy that's I think they've shuffled some guys. I've only watched some. I haven't watched as much as I normally would, but at this point, but they've shuffled some guys back to their normal spots as they probably approached the season thinking that he was going to be the left tackle. So they've moved some guys around, so maybe some guys are more comfortable, but they certainly looked good last night.
You mentioned Treadwell. What do you think of the season that he's having, just given the injury
Fantastic.
that he had last
Blocks, does everything. Physical, tough, competes on the top of routes, goes after the ball. Great competitor, but it's every snap. It's not just when they throw it to him. When they're not throwing him the ball, he's blocking, he's running his routes hard. Even when he knows the ball's not coming to him, you really appreciate the way he plays the game.
Do you think he'll be a little more emotional about this game because of what happened last year against Auburn?
Based on the film, he's pretty emotional every game. The guy competes and plays, and you really appreciate the way he approaches the game.
Is Kenyon banged up at all right now?
Kenyon?
Rashid Kenyon?
No, he was in a rabbits package, on a rush package, and we had a lot of third and shorter distances. We didn't get to that as much as we wanted to, but no, he's been fine. And, he provides some things in the rush. Certainly, this Saturday will be important for him to play well for us.
Do you expect Carl to play Saturday?
I don't know. Coach will address that. I know he met with Dr. Andrews over the weekend, and I think Gus will address that too.
How has he just, in your eyes, progressed in being around the team and seeing him get off the crutches and be able to do more?
Well, again, his presence, means a lot for our guys. He's certainly, a leader on our defense and a guy that is an experienced, good football player, a productive football player. And part of being a leader is you got to be productive. So he's a guy that's been there and done that at a high level and continues to provide good leadership for our guys. And certainly, hopefully, if we get him back on the practice field this week, will be a huge bonus for us from a mental standpoint as much as anything.
I know coaches don't do it often or if at all, but do you ever look back and think, I wonder what it would have been like if we had him here and here
No,
and here?
injuries are part of the game. Just move on.
The defense and the team as a whole has shown a lot of mental toughness and mettle over the course of the season, but having said that, when you are in last place in the SEC West and the stats are what they are, how long do you think that mental toughness can stay when the standings are what they are and the results are what they are right now?
Well, again, that's why that goes back to recruiting and recruiting good people, which we have good people, and guys that understand, playing for that AAU on their helmet's important. And I believe that, and I believe in the coaching staff here and the players here continuing to push forward.